And hopefully those Orc Knights were kind of the worst that the area will have to bear here, and will otherwise be in a fairly decent spot. And some treasure would be greatly appreciated. I guess mostly just weapons, it seems. I should check out. Was there? I thought there was a magic armor here somewhere. I guess the easiest way to check this over would be to open up this menu. There we go. +2 leather armor of willpower. Seems beautiful, honestly. I mean, everything is super castable on our end, so we can definitely afford to switch up to a slightly heavier bit of armor. And that is fantastic. Yeah, what an interesting combination of spells here. Slow, Poisonous Vapors, Wear Blood, and Cause Fear. We're getting a lot of utility. Don't know how much we're getting that's actually useful and usable, but hey, we'll hold out hope for a hero for the time being here. And I guess I should definitely head back upstairs, continue our journey where we left off in that shaft trap all these ages ago. And fantastic. We'll make one a friend. Nothing we can't handle here. Hopefully that shafting was kind of the worst that will come to bear as we continue on. I guess through that shafting we did also immediately gain access or find our entrance to Lair, so we know exactly where we can find that son of a gun. And that should just about do it for this floor. Okay, one little bit left to go here, but nothing we can't handle, and we get Lita's Liquefaction. I believe this is the one that just slows enemies. It like gives us the money area. Yeah, makes it difficult for enemies to move through it. Any movement will be slowed, and creatures stuck in it will be unable to fly. Attacks, I guess melee attacks against us also may fail, so that seems interesting. Again, pure utility spell. Another spell that I've barely touched in my time with the game. So we're definitely getting an interesting Djinni run, to say the least. We'll have to see how it continues onwards here. For whatever reason, I thought that scimitar was something fancy. Which, you know, it is in its own right. I'm sure the weaponsmith that, you know, spent hours at the forge should be appreciated for their hard work, but unfortunately just not exactly what we're looking for in the here and now. But hey, we don't really need much of anything when we have Scorch on our side, at least for the time being here, for the moment. Oh, hello, Amamon. What to do with you, my friend? Oh, you are not poison immune. I definitely thought you would be, just based on your general, you know, theming and countenance here. Actually, what about you, my friend? You too are not very immune to my charms here. Not too shabby. 23% chance to slow you. Yeah, I don't know why I even bothered, but I guess it was worth a shot temporarily. Ooh. And now we're in a little spot of trouble. Fortunately, the Scorpion shouldn't be too bad. I mean, 8 damage, only 7 AC. Not great, but not completely untenable either. Only 17% chance to paralyze you with the Wand of Set ability. None of you can see invisible, and I do have an invisibility potion, so let's maybe just take that now. I also should have read the Scroll of Acquirement. Don't know what I was thinking there, but that's fine, I guess. Just classic DCSS logic from my end. Let's see, Atropa, 3% chance to blind. That's not gonna do it, unfortunately. So do I just Scorch? Guess we could Wear Blood too. Each non-summoned enemy the caster slays in combat, so never mind. That's unfortunately not really going to do much for us. If we could heal off of killing the popcorn summons, then fantastic. But no such luck. What else can I do here? I could just start blind IDing stuff. I mean, we have a stack of 7 potions and a stack of 6 potions. Let's see what that is. 7 is curing. Not too shabby. Oh, geez. I thought I had 1 turn that I could get away with attacking. No! Never know what that acquirement scroll had. It probably held the secrets to the universe itself. Oh, man. Well, we had a good run at it. Kind of. You know, most of the times I consider a good run to get to at least lair, hopefully a decent ways past that, you know, finding your S-branch entrances, all that good stuff. Yikes. But hey, reset from that largely utility-style Djinni here, and let's jump in once more. This time around, I think we won't go Cinder Acolyte again. I'll kind of sprinkle those runs in here or there, one at a time. But unfortunately, again, not having that starting handbook doesn't synergize super well with Djinni. So, with that in mind, let's jump over to one of these caster backgrounds. And which would we like to go with here? Hedge Wizards gives a nice, I guess, selection of spells. Conjurer is probably my favorite, just because, I mean, we saw in the Great Player series that our Conjurer Djinni had to use spells from the starting handbook throughout the entire game, even into Zot, all the way to Zot 5. So these spells definitely come in handy throughout the entirety of the run. Let's go for it. And for names this time, let's go with James. I think Djinni and Null are the 2 species that I can decently, consistently come up with names for, just because they have silly silent consonants, and that's, you know, a gold mine of options just then and there. But okie dokie, let's get our skills set up here. Everything coming along, chugging along nicely. Of course, all of our auto pickup as well. And then last but not least, let's dump that morgue file so we can grab the seed. And perfect. The little notepad finagling we did earlier did seem to work out. No longer blasting me on the big screen here with that pure white. So fantastic. And okie dokie, so we'll just be rolling with Magic Dart for now, pretty much spamming our way through D1. Hopefully won't come across too much issue. You know, just playing a few Ogre runs immediately has put me into the habit of ignoring gloves. I saw those sitting there and I almost just walked right on by. But fortunately, last minute remembered that no, I can indeed wear those. I guess the one thing that we do share with our large and in charge friends is an inability to wear boots. Boots and cats. As we hit level 3, and guess what, folks? We get slow again. Oh, baby. To what do I owe the pleasure? Thanks, DCSS. Just watch us get the exact same combination of spells, defying all odds and probability here. Ooh, and a Faded Altar is at least worth checking out what the options are here. So we have Dithmenos, Zom, or Ignis. So maybe we do have an Ignis run after all. Dithmenos isn't fantastic. I mean, eventually we'll get double ups on some of our conjuration spells at least. Or, you know, the like secondary hit that Dithmenos grants us. And Zom, I mean, Zom is Zom. You know what? I think we will say yes to this. They're all gods that we haven't won with yet in this series. And we do get Ignis. Okay, so who needs to start as a Cinder Acolyte when you can just roll Ignis on the first Faded Altar? Fantastic. Unfortunately, an Amulet of Faith once again here, so not too useful for us right off the bat. But nothing we can handle here so far, so we'll just blitz our way through our new friends. Come one, come all. And that is fantastic. Ring Dexterity we'll put on, but hopefully can find a replacement for early on here. Seeing as how we don't gain a whole lot of advantage out of Dex, besides a little bit of additional evasion, just to try and keep ourselves alive early days. And not too bad. Should also check in just on how long it's going to take to get our Prism and IMB down to 22% failure already, so not too far off before those will become available to us. You know, let's do a little bit fashion show. We apparently just level up our helmet. Largely the same helmet, only now with giant curving horns or wings at the side. Sure. If nothing else, it gives us an intimidating profile coming up on our new friends here. So we get Momentum Strike. Slow and Momentum Strike. Momentum Strike, I believe, is the new, like, reverse spell here, but blast target with energy borrowed from our own future movement. So for a short time, we cannot walk around. Interesting. But it does really nice damage. In fact, let's just blast you right then and there. Perfect. Nice little opening teaser on the new spell there. We'll even pick up this Morning Star, even though hopefully we won't really have much cause to use it at any point here. But, you know, nice to have available. If we ever do decide to pursue a little bit more of a hybrid style approach, we have a pretty solid starter weapon at our disposal. And not too shabby. Should be able to round off the rest of this floor without too much worry or concern. I guess kind of caught myself there as we immediately found an orc pack, because we've had some unfortunate D3 packs before. You know, if they're even just a couple, even just one priest alongside them, things can get hairy real fast, unfortunately. But nothing we can't handle here so far. That is fantastic. Okie dokie. Every once in a while, just checking in again on those level 4 spells, slowly but surely coming down, but still a ways off from being functionally useful here. And you know, I think we should just head upstairs. We could try to face off against these sons of guns. In fact, oh, jeez Louise. Nope, this might kill me. All they have to do is one more smite, and I'm probably down and out for the count. But, fortunately, Foxfires in mass quantity deal a crap ton of damage. So we get out of that one not completely free, because we only have so many casts of that. I guess we never really gave any kind of description over Ignis here. But for anyone who has not played with the deity before, you start off at max piety, and then every ability you use will slowly but surely chew away at that. And so, just have to keep in mind that we'll eventually not have too much going for us on that front. 16% chance of failure. Thought it was worth trying once. Unfortunately, not really worth multiple attempts here, at least not without first gaining some ground. We can walk away, then drop one of those sons of guns. And if we can just take care of this buddy, perfect. I mean, unfortunately, these sons of guns were already swifted, so that's not grand. I guess we could IMB to try and gain a little bit of ground here. Might be all we can really do. Perfect. And what else? I mean, I could Momentum Strike. Can't even hit this buddy. Let's hit the one behind. Perfect. Momentum Strike does work pretty well as like a finishing maneuver just right at the end of any encounter. But hopefully won't have to resort to it early on at any point, because losing our motility is rough, to say the least. And if I could just... Yeah, I was hoping to get to the deep water so we could kind of use it to our advantage. Turns out it wasn't strictly necessary. Not a lot going on here. And that is D4 taken care of. We're just about at level 7, so we'll be gaining access to yet another spell. This time we get Hailstorm. Oops, let's try that again. Hailstorm. So this doesn't hit next to us, but does AoE just beyond that, I guess. Half of its damage bypasses cold resistance. Seems okay at best. 3d7 damage is pretty solid, I guess, for our first real on-demand AoE spell. I just say on-demand because technically we do have access to things like IMB and Prism. Those can kind of, functionally take care of a lot of mass groups of enemies, but nice to have a few more options at our disposal, especially for if we're already surrounded at any point. That should come in handy. Ooh, and some scrolls here right off the bat. I think we'll buy a couple just even to get them ID'd, and in fact I'll buy another ID scroll here. Always useful to have a decent chunk of these, and that will give us a bit of a kick in the rear here to get some scrolls and other consumables identified a bit earlier than we otherwise might. Still don't have access to any kind of healing potions, but hopefully that doesn't end up causing us too much grief. 56% chance, just fails over and over again. Scaring me a little bit. Unfortunately, we do eventually take care of our frozen friend. Bookstore, do we look like a nerd? Exactly. We're the one spellcaster that isn't a complete and utter bookworm here. And Sigmund, I'll at least walk away from you until you have the good graces to, show yourself, you coward. Maybe, or we'll lose you at some point in the ring around the rosy there. Interesting. Well, I don't love that we have a wild Sigmund wandering somewhere in the level. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. But let's try to find our way to a stairwell, somewhere that's a little bit safer to sit and heal up. We at least have an escape route if anything starts to go anything less, or any way less than ideal, I should say. Alright, and what's the hotkey for auto pickup? Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on this now? We unfortunately had auto pickup. Control A. We had it turned off because Sigmund turned invisible nearby. And because we didn't take care of our friend, it was still sitting there. But fortunately got that sorted out eventually here. Let's mark the Ring of Willpower as a potential option to come back to in the future. Always in desperate need of willpower as the run continues onwards and upwards. And only 10% chance to fail this time, unfortunately, still causing us a little bit of issue. Oh, and that's a dead end down there. Oh gosh, it's dead ends everywhere. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Maybe try something like this. A little summon. You can see how that goes. At least this way, our iguana friend will still be hit if I just stand here. Maybe I'll do a little bit of IMB action just to try and ensure some level of safety. And perfect. We do manage to take out Sigmund as well. So not quite the end of the world insofar as we can tell.